Average. Anybody want to tell me what they think average means? It's a very difficult word to describe. Average. Kelsey?
Like, it's not normal. It's
Much.
normal.
Actually, the average would be more like normal. Yeah, and any other way though? For example, your grades are average. Jacob?
Average is an average. Okay.
Yeah, that's very helpful, Jacob. Thank you. Gary?
It's kind of like a level of like how good you are at it, or like how like you're
Maybe typical? Another word there, Calvin?
like it's like you're not bad at it, but you're not good at it.
Oh, if you're called average, true. You'd be like everybody else, I suppose, or like the normal person there. Nicholas?
Okay, so like a bunch of numbers.
Well, I know what I don't want the math definition. I'm getting to that.
Oh, okay, well the average is like that's not good.
It's hard to explain.
It is.
Very difficult to explain. But here's what I want you to write on your note. It is the normal, it is the typical thing. Like if your average grade is a B on your report card, that means normally you get a B. But you have to understand that normally you might get a B, but there's probably some times when you get A's, and there's also probably some times when you get C's. Okay, because the A's and the C's kind of balance out to give you the middle sort of thing. And you could use middle for average too, kind of, is a way to describe it. But a couple of things, the book also, we don't always think about average as this, but average can also be making equal stacks. Because they will ask you a lot of things about making equal stacks or sharing equally. That is also the same thing as average. And then Nicholas was just going to get to, how do we find average, Nicholas?
If you have like a bunch of numbers, you add all the numbers together, and then however many numbers there were, well, the number you got from adding the numbers together, you divide that by how many numbers there were. So like 54 divided by 9, if there were 9 numbers, and then the answer would be 6, so 6 would be your average.
If you caught that.
I did the whole thing. I got a little bit. That just shows how
Just write this.
I remember that.
Write that down there.
Shows how advanced I am.
Yes. To find the average of something, you add all the numbers together, then you divide by the number of the numbers you added. And I'll show you the example. We'll show you exactly what that is. Let's say you have 7. Let's put it down here somewhere. Pen doesn't write over there very well. 7 and 12 and 14. Okay. Now before I actually find the average there, you should be able to look at this number and give me an estimate as to what the average would be. The average is always going to fall somewhere between the lowest number and the highest number. Okay, your average will not be higher than 14 or will be lower than 7, and it's going to fall somewhere in between there. This number is going to affect it a little bit. It's closer to 14 than it is to 7. So if you had to guess what the average of those two numbers would be, a good guess probably would be somewhere around where? Gary?
13.
13 might be good. I don't know. It might be a little high. I don't know. Peter?
11.
11? I don't know. Let's see what happens here. So the first thing we do is add all the numbers together. 14 and 12 and 7. I add those together and I get 33. Now the second thing you do is you count how many numbers you added together, which was 3. And then I need to divide 33 by 3, and you do end up with 11. Yes. When I get to that, maybe how do you cut yourself sitting at a desk?
That was a cut.
You'll have to wait till we get a good time there. Okay, now, what I want you to see is that would mean this. You know, let's say somebody had 7 marbles and 12, and another kid had 12 marbles, and the third kid had 14 marbles. If they wanted to pool all their marbles together and play a game and everybody, it gets divided out evenly, then everybody would get 11 because 11 is that average, or 11 makes equal groups or equal stacks there. Okay, let's look, the book kind of asks some questions here. Let's see if I can find it here. Blah, blah, blah. Here is an example, just so you don't get confused here. If water is poured from a glass to a glass until the amounts of water are equal in each glass is the same, how many ounces of water will be in each glass? And there's where I want you to see. Average is what you would use for this because you're trying to make 3 equal stacks of the same amount. And you find average the same exact way. Did this control? It's not going to do it.
And then you still need the answer? Yeah, me too. Yeah.
No, I'm not concerned about the answer.
I am. I know
Did I push the wrong button? No, maybe I pushed the wrong button.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
So to find the average, you're going to add the 3 numbers together, 7 plus 7 plus 4, which ends up being 15. And then you need to make 3 equal stacks with 15, so you take 15 and divide it by the 3. So each one would have 5 in it. Is that right? Again, just checking to see if you're listening. I don't know what's going on here. This would be 18, and then 18 divided by 3. You know, I thought I was wrong once, but I was wrong. Let's look at another one. See if I can mess another one up. I should have looked at the answer there. Here's another one. Brad's sister timed him as he swam laps. Brad's laps times in seconds are 80, 85, 90, 85, and 90. What is the average of Brad's lap times? Again, you should have in your mind what you think a good answer would be for that. And you know it's going to be somewhere between the slowest time, which was 80, or the fastest time, which was 80, and the slowest time, which is 90. So you know it's going to be somewhere in there between 80 and 90. Now, what the rest of these depends on what you get when you add the rest of these together. 80, 85, 90, 85, 90. Adding all those together, if I can add this time. 16, 17, what's that? 26, 34, 43. Did I get that one right? 18, 24, 33, 43. Now, how many numbers were there that I added together?
5.
5. So that's what I have to divide 430 by. If I divide it by 5, I'm going to get 8, which is 40. Subtract 5 goes into 36 times. So my average would be 86. Anybody think that they're going to struggle with that in any way, shape, or form?
Are we done?